Hey friends, Jeff here from Mocha Origins. Welcome to another month of MokaBox and our digital unboxing. MokaBox is our monthly subscription and really the core way for you to support our humanitarian work at Moka Farm in Cameroon. But today is not about Cameroon, it's about Ghana, another exciting origin that we're super honored to be working with. And on the call today, we have some guests. I'm really humbled and excited to be with them and introduce them to you from Uncommon Cacao. And Emily Stone, CEO and co-founder of Uncommon, is on the call. Sasi Baranoff, Director of Global Operations and Sourcing, as well as Stephen Ashia, General Manager of Obuka Fa in Suhum, South Ghana. All on Zoom with us today. And we're gonna dig into our bars in a minute and our August box. But before we do, we're going to get to know Emily, Stassi, and Steven and talk a little bit about the work they do. How's everyone doing?
Doing great.
Yeah. Awesome. Great to connect. And I already admitted publicly that I botched the recording from our last call, but I think maybe intentionally, subconsciously I did it because I just love your guys' presence and company so much. So more of an excuse just to hang out a little bit longer and talk about all the great things you're doing. Emily, wanted to kind of start and introduce Uncommon. All of our followers see our packaging and our website, and they see, our sourcing partner is Uncommon. And we talk a lot about you guys and want to let you first and foremost really introduce your company and really kind of, catch up and understand a bit more about your background and why you started Uncommon.
Sure. Yeah, it's great to be here with you, Jeff. Again, thank you for having us. So let's see, Uncommon Cacao turns 10 years old this year, which is really exciting. And I started the company back in 2010 with our co-founders, I guess really for a couple of reasons. One, I've loved cacao and chocolate my whole life. I wrote a cookbook called Desserts Around the World when I was 10 years old. I did my 7th grade science project on cupcakes. So I've loved chocolate and desserts for a really long time. But as I went through school and graduated and started working, I didn't really think about chocolate as a career. It's not something you're really taught to explore as a career opportunity. And I became an activist. So I worked at Amnesty International. I did a lot of social justice and human rights work. And I did some environmental activism as well. And it was actually through the activism work that I kind of came back full circle to chocolate. I was learning through some campaigns that I became familiar with about some of the systematic problems in the cocoa and chocolate industry, which has deep colonial roots and a lot of symptoms of a broken system. And this was back in 2009, 2010. There was very little innovation happening. This was sort of before the bean to bar, craft chocolate, specialty cacao movement took off. There were just a handful of bean to bar makers. And from what I understood talking to them, I met with Alex Whitmore from Taza Chocolate, who was one of the first sort of pioneers in the bean to bar movement. And he shared with me how challenging it was to find high quality organic cacao produced by smallholder farmers. So there seemed to be really an opportunity for innovation in sort of the model of ethical sourcing based on the problems that were in the supply chain. And then there was a real business opportunity and business problem for these chocolate makers who wanted to buy high quality organic cacao from smallholders. So started in Belize. That was our first sort of project as a small export operation. And we've grown over the years to now become a key sourcing partner for many of the bean to bar chocolate makers in the US and around the world, sourcing from a wide number of countries, including Ghana, which we're really excited about. And great to be here with you today.
Wow. Yeah, props to you. That's an incredible story and a massive undertaking. And it's really cool to hear about your roots in activism and human rights and how you found, because there are really direct links between the unethical practices on cocoa farms and human rights. And it's amazing that you've been able to professionally pursue a career path and create a system to be a change agent through cocoa. That's extraordinary.
I'm very grateful to be able to do this work, and I do not do it alone. So I'm really glad that Stassi's on the call as well, and Stephen. There's a
Yeah,
really wide team.
it sounds like you have an awesome team. And Stassi, super excited to have you on the call. I know you have a lot of experiences and probably stories as you've traveled the cocoa trails. And wanted to just ask you a little bit about your background and your role at Uncommon as Director of Global Operations and Sourcing.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me here. It's really fun to be able to talk about this work and also to be able to connect somebody who uses Aboca beans with somebody who produces Aboca beans. That's like probably one of my favorite parts of my job. So yeah, I actually, I have a background in coffee. So I was living and working in East Africa for a few years for a social enterprise coffee importing company based out of Portland, Oregon. And so I don't know, over time, I sort of learned a lot about the similarities between coffee and cocoa in terms of the supply chain and their colonial histories. My grandfather actually had a chocolate factory in Japan. So similar to Emily, from a really young age, I was very involved with chocolate, loved chocolate a lot. I used to, this is not technically allowed, but I used to stick my arm in the conch to just like lick chocolate off of my hand. Big time.
We're not supposed to do that? Oh,
you're not supposed to do that. Oh yeah, whoops. So anyway, that's also something for me that's been a part of my history for a long time and why I love chocolate a lot. And so it was really great to have a foundation in one type of supply chain that's, you know, similar in many ways to the chocolate supply chain through coffee. So I'm from the Bay Area originally. Uncommon Cacao, we have our base here. I'm here in Berkeley right now. And so I'm close to home again. And technically my job, I mean, global operations and sourcing can encompass quite a number of things. So I would say first and foremost, I'm responsible for managing all of our relationships across the 9 supply companies that we work with. Some of those are exporters, some of those are exporters that source from cooperatives and associations, some of those are cooperatives themselves. And so we work across 9 different countries. And I also manage more closely our 2 subsidiary companies. One is My Mountain Cacao in Belize, which Emily mentioned she founded. The second is Cacao Verapaz in Guatemala, which she also founded in 2014. And so I work very closely with the managing directors there too. And so what that means when I say manage those relationships is I look at the quality of cocoa beans. So we work very, very closely and work very hard to make sure that we have a consistent high quality product from all of our suppliers. I work with them on transparency reporting. So every year we publish a transparency report. We believe the transparency in the supply chain is really critical to enacting change. And so that work gets done once a year. It takes a lot of months to compile. I audit receipts and stuff like that to make sure that it's all legit. I visit origins by myself, and I also visit origins with customers who are interested in getting to know our supply partners better. And then beyond that, just an ongoing sort of impact work that needs to happen over time. So beyond the transparency reporting, we also look a lot at cost of production. We look a lot at income and that type of work.
that is a stacked deck. Incredible. Really, yeah. And
yeah,
I didn't mention
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm lucky.
It's wild. And, you know, a lot of people probably don't think about this, but when you guys, I mean, you're so radically transparent. And I didn't mention that in my introduction, but that's one of your, I believe, a differentiator, which is why we love working with you. But that adds so much more complexity and really makes you responsible for digging in and getting clear and being transparent, and then providing that transparency forward to the makers and ultimately the consumers. So
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about premiums and what that means and how that's structured?
Yeah, absolutely. Aboca has a really amazing premium distribution system. And so at some point, if Stephen can weigh in on how they manage that, it's super excellent for a cooperative. And they've been working on it for a long time. But I can definitely lay out the basic structure of how it can look across different origins. So I would actually say, first and foremost, like us as Uncommon Cacao, because we trade in, we don't really consider cacao to be a commodity. So the reason that there is a commodity market, cacao normally is traded with premiums because it's a premium on top of a commodity price. And the reality is when you're dealing in specialty cocoa, like we don't really consider cocoa from Belize to be the same as cocoa from Guatemala, to be the same as cocoa from West Africa or from Ghana or from Bofa. They're all very unique in their flavors. And so we actually do pricing based more on cost of production and an exporter's business model more than we do based on a premium above a commodity market price. That being said, we of course in some contexts do still need to pay it as a premium structure because the way that contracting is done in many parts of the world is based on the commodity market. And you kind of legally have to do it that way. And so premiums are given for a number of different reasons and in a couple of different ways. They can be given, as you mentioned, for fair trade. There is a sort of premium base price for organic certification, which varies country to country. And also some companies pay premiums for things like quality or transparency or other impact work. There's also Rainforest Alliance certification and other bodies like that that would add premiums on top as well. And then the second thing related to premiums is how they're distributed. So in some contexts, it's paid at the farm gate price at the time of purchase from an individual farmer, because they already know that they're organic certified maybe, or because they already know they're getting a higher quality, maybe they're competing with other buyers, so they need to pay the premium upfront. The other way that it can be done is at the end of a harvest season, a premium can be paid back to a farmer afterwards to say, thanks for your commitment during this season, this is what we earned from our buyers, and they redistribute it back to farmers. Yeah.
Great explanation.
Thanks.
Yeah, perfectly clear and really concise. Yeah, and it feels really good knowing that there's such a practice intact, and so
yeah,
excellent.
Definitely.
Stephen, thank you so much for joining this Zoom, and I know you, Emily, and Stasi are so well acquainted. It's an honor for myself to also meet you digitally, and appreciate you taking the time to talk to Moka and our followers and fans of chocolate made from your cooperative's beans. And so, yeah, would love to just love to get to know you a little bit and hear a little bit about the farming culture in Ghana, and maybe a little bit about the demographics of farmers, what farm size is kind of the standard, what other crops are intercrop with cacao, and a little detail around that.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I do also appreciate your inviting us also to share our ideas with you. We are so grateful. But my name is Stephen Eshia, the manager of Abok Farm, a farmer cooperative producing organic and fair trade cocoa in Ghana. And before I continue, I think you've spoken with Emily and Stacy, that's Uncommon Cocoa, and we are also very grateful for how far they have been with us. I mean, we've worked with other partners who have been supporting us, but we have to say that Uncommon has been a very good client with us, because we met them, I mean, through Taza Chocolate, and since then, things have worked perfectly for us, but they pay a good premium, and they also help us to produce quality cocoa. Always, they give us a feedback. How is the customers, I mean, talking about our beans, what we need to do, what we should do to improve it. So they've been helping us year after year. We try to improve the quality for our customers. So we say that this is a very good, I mean, relationship we want to see. Most people, when they buy the cocoa, they are more interested in the profit they may get. But for Uncommon, they are always with you. Find out during the COVID, every 3 days, every week, we see them talking to you to find out how the farmers are coping, how things are going on there. So this alone tells us that they also think about the cooperative and the farmers in which they do business with. So we are so grateful with them. Yeah, coming back to Abok Farm, yeah, we started from 2007 as organic, and then 2011, we were able to also get certified as fair trade. Our farmer population is about 924. Right now, we are moving closely to 1,000 farmers. But the size of the farm, I mean, ranging from small as 0.5 acre to as large as 64 acres. So if you want to strike average, sometimes it becomes very difficult to strike average, because some are big and others are very small, but majority are within the range of 1 acre to 4 acres. So mostly that will be the average. Now, talking about in Ghana, we try to combine with so many crops, especially when we are growing from the young stage. You add banana, you add plantain, cassava, cocoyam, and other fruit crops can also be found in there. So sometimes when the farmers go to the farm, and they also harvest some of the mango, some of the orange, and then they also eat it, and also pawpaw or papao, as people may call it in a different country. So that we integrate with a lot of, and don't forget, we also put a lot of trees in there. So mostly when we come to Abokfa, when we stand at a distance, you might see that the place is forest because we have a lot of trees within. So we combine trees and food crops. So when you talk of agroforestry system in Abokfa, that's the perfect place we need to come and visit to see the perfect agroforestry system with cocoa being planted under. Yeah, I think basically I might say that we at Abokfa, we try as much as possible to make our cooperative very dynamic, because when it comes to Ghana, only few cooperatives are doing organic. And therefore we receive a lot of customers, a lot of friends, a lot of students coming to learn about fair trade organic, because even when we travel to outside the country, like first, when you go, people ask, are you sure you people also do organic? Because some people are always, are not, I mean, they don't even get it that in Ghana we are doing organic, but we have also proved to them that in Ghana or Africa, we can also still do organic. So basically that's Abokfa.
Excellent, incredible, great introduction. 1,000 farmers is incredible. So, and organic farmers, that's a lot of outreach and certification work that goes into that. And yeah, so great work, Stephen. Humbled by your guys' organization and structure. It sounds like it's pretty incredible. I love the fact that your beans are not centrally fermented. Just to catch people up a little bit, when you ferment, it's a critical step of the process to making good chocolate. And it's often something that's not talked about when you consume chocolate or when you think of chocolate making, but it really is. It's, it's harvest, ferment, and dry. And if that's not done well, there's not much you can do with beans. And, since 2007, we've been visiting farms in Cameroon and working to assess fermentation. And we've made a lot of test chocolate, a lot of bad test chocolate from under fermented beans. And it's amazing how those same beans, when properly fermented, it's like a completely different flavor experience. It's amazing. And how much more value that cocoa bean then has, and then how much more should be compensated against quality. So tell us a little bit about how the fermentation happens.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is true that we don't do centralized fermentation as it's happening in other countries. Abokfa, we train the farmers to do the fermentation themselves. So when the farmer harvests their cocoa and it is time for them to break the pod, we have trained them to use banana leaves spread on the ground, and then they will pile all the beans, wet beans on it, and then they'll cover it. And then within 3 days, they will come and open it and then turn it quickly and then close it again. And when it is 6 to 7 days, then they will take it and bring it to the raised mat for the sun. We use only sun. We don't use heater. We don't use anything. We use only natural sun to dry it. So we don't have any solar dryer or something where we store, we dry the cocoa. Now, the issue is that we have field officers who go around to support the farmers doing the fermentation. They will support them. They also go there to see that the farmers are doing the right thing. And basically, apart from that one aspect too, in Ghana, if you don't do your fermentation well, it will be shown during the quality checks. Even we have fair check, which we do is physical examination. If the cocoa is not well fermented, you break it, you can see. So even we use some of the unfermented cocoa to do training for farmers. If you don't ferment your cocoa well, this is how the color will be, this is how the cocoa will be, and it is not going to give a good chocolate for our customers to use it to make chocolate. So basically, it's a training, and consistent training has helped the farmers to ferment their cocoa well, and then they also dry their cocoa according to the standard we've been training them for.
It's amazing that that you guys are doing central or decentralized fermentation and tasting so well. The first batch that came in, we did a cut test, and I was excited to see what I saw. And then the first taste was really incredible, almost like peanut butter, peanut brittle. It had like a really great nutty note to it. and we roasted the beans anywhere from 280 down to, I think maybe 235, 240. And we ended at like a 240, 249, I believe was our final roast. And was it 254? I think it was 254. And the outcome is pretty nice. There's some nice fruit qualities to it. At the same time, there's like a classic fudgy chocolate note, and then a really cool peanut butter flavor. Let's dig in. So we already know, Stephen, we owe you a box. We owe you like a suitcase of chocolate so that you can share it. And I will make that available whenever anyone travels over there next. But
I will happily check in a suitcase full of chocolate for a Boca. No problem.
Please do. And chase me down for that. In the box this month for August, we have 2 coffees, our Guatemalan and our Kenyan. Which is a limited batch, but really want to keep it focused on the chocolate. The beans from Stephen's cooperative are in these bars, and so we're featuring our 72%, which we just started using these beans for last month. It took us about 4 to 6 months of really dedicated roasting work to get the profile where we wanted them, and this is by far not only my favorite bar, this is the best representation of a sea salt chocolate bar that we've made, and super excited about the world tasting this, or our little portion of the world. It's, I think, a really great reflection of good quality beans, great sourcing partners, and our hard work here making the chocolate. So let's start with our sea salt bar. And if you guys have eaten your bars already, that's all good. Grab anything you have near you. And
I got the real deal.
Nice.
Great snap.
Good snap. We'll tell Joe, who's well-tempered. So when you eat chocolate at home, it's nice to kind of chomp it up a little bit and then pause and let that melt happen. And cocoa butter usually melts around body temp. And at that point, you get an opportunity to really taste the cacao.
It's so good.
You guys like it? We satisfied?
Like,
Sorry, I'm
definitely.
quiet because I'm enjoying it, not because I have nothing to say. Just like,
It's tough. I'm assuming makers throw bars at you all the time with beans, and you have to like compare.
I mean, this is easy, Jeff. It's delicious, you know. There's not a lot of qualms with this. So
The hard part of your job is definitely not tasting your maker's chocolate.
No.
Definitely.
I mean,
It's
also
almost-
normally when I'm eating a boca, I'm eating 100% cocoa liquor for the sensory evaluation.
Yep.
It is such a treat to taste it with sugar introduced because the flavors you get out of it are actually a lot more robust. You don't have the punch in the face of the upfront 100% chocolate. You're able to actually like enjoy every flavor that you can find. It's so great.
Very cool.
I can't stop eating it. It's like brownie batter. It's addictive.
Would
So
love
good.
that.
Brownie edges with like toasted almonds or peanuts in it.
Yes.
With that little like salt kick.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's nice.
So good.
This bean had a lot of direction we could have taken. We could elevate some floral, fruity. The nuttiness was pretty endless. And astringency was there if we wanted it, kind of depending on how we worked with it. Not overpowering, but it was like balanced. It kind of like has a nice chocolatey backbone that keeps all the other flavors, inclusions in check. So this was a really fun one for us. The idea of a milk bar had been on our minds for a while. We've made some internal batches just to, like gorge on and have fun with. But we finally found a bean that we really thought made an incredible milk chocolate. And yeah, that was your beans from Abokafa. And I think what I love so much about it personally is that it's got such a chocolatey presence. And even with milk or sugar, a little added cocoa butter, the final taste you get is pretty chocolatey. So I'd love your opinion on that. While you're breaking open, the color difference is always kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's a 55%, so it's still pretty dark.
So rich. It's got a really nice like caramel note. Very round. Mm.
Yeah, it's really, really creamy. And we're still playing with like the percentage of milk to kind of gauge like fattiness and how much of that do we want melt. We'll do a lot of tests this summer on melt point and temper.
I almost get like a cinnamon peanut butter note out of this. Like a little bit of a spicy, like really pleasantly spicy and that nutty kind of depth. It's really good.
Glad you like it. I can't stop eating mine, so yeah, I've eaten my fair share.
My mouth is watering.
Yeah, I feel so bad right now.
Wait, Stephen, when you try chocolate, do you like dark chocolate without milk, or do you prefer milk chocolate? What's your chocolate preference?
I prefer milk one, but with the least sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. But my family prefer milk chocolate.
Yeah.
The family prefer milk chocolate.
With some more sugar.
Nice.
Yeah, with sugar. Yeah.
Stassi, question for you. So when you guys do liquor evaluations, are you doing that from your home or from your office, or like do you contract another maker to do that, or?
No, we have little Premier Wonder grinders to
Awesome.
grind a kilo of cocoa bean, nibs. And yeah, we used to do them together in the office here. We have a little lab.
Yeah.
And now obviously with COVID, we have to sort of distribute liquors. So we just started sort of storing them a little bit differently so that we don't all have to like dip into the same jar, which overall is probably better for sanitary practices anyway. Thanks, COVID.
Yes.
But we have a little coffee home roaster and some equipment that we bought from Chocolate Alchemy for winnowing. And yeah, just some Premier Wonder grinders. And we let it go for like 12 to 16 hours. We want to be like closer to a chocolate final product. You know, just doing a raw cacao powder evaluation or only grinding a short amount of time, you don't really off-gas all of the volatiles you can find. And so we found that, 12 to 16 hours gets us certainly a mouthfeel as well as like a more sort of delicate flavor in the liquor. So it's closer to what a final chocolate bar would potentially taste like. But Anjali definitely has also been working on trying to get bars from different makers so that we can taste bars as well with the same contracts from the same harvest season and compare that to what our liquor had tasted like. So we have a better sense for that transformation from cocoa bean all the way through to chocolate bar.
Very cool. I think we sent you some dark bars. If you need any information on our roasts or how we profiled anything, let me know.
Definitely.
You can have those on file.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should bring it to a close and just, I welcome any final words, but I just want to thank you all so much, Stephen, especially for, taking opportunity. This is later in the day for you. It's been really an honor to put a name with a face, and I commend you for all the great work you're doing there at Origin and your relationship with Uncommon. I just love the synergy, and it's not only a great relationship for the farmers at Origin, but it serves the chocolate making industry as well, and ultimately consumers.
I have to say that we are also grateful, and I think from this can also, expose Abofa will get to be known in everywhere from your recordings, and we also think that you need to buy more from Uncommon. And then you have to also sell Abofa to other clients who also buy more. The more you buy from Uncommon, then Uncommon will also buy more from us. And then they will pay more premium, and the farmers' welfare and their livelihood will also be improved. So we encourage you to also sell Abofa to every client around. And then Uncommon too, we want to also to open up and get more customers so that you can also buy more of our Bokufa beans, and then farmers also get more premium for their survival. Thank you very much.
Love that. That's definitely our intention. In our bars, we just started using your beans in 3 of our main bars that are in some organic grocery chains here on the East Coast. Mom's Organic Market is one, and about 90 other independents throughout the country. So that's definitely our intention and our goal.
Awesome. And the chocolate tastes great, which is so important for that cycle to be possible. You know, it all depends on consumers, the people who are receiving this box, all of you who love chocolate and are inspired by this story to buy more of this chocolate so that this can continue. We can continue buying great beans. Stephen can continue buying great beans, and Jeff can continue buying great beans. I think really this is a whole supply chain and full value chain revolution that we're all a part of. And it's great to be a partner of Moka, who takes this stuff really seriously and is turning these beans into truly amazing chocolate.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Stassi. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate your time and look forward to a long reciprocal relationship. Take care, everyone. Yep.
You too.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Stephen.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Stephen.
Bye.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.